This is how you make traditional Chinese homemade dumplings. It's extremely easy, the ingredients are simple, and you can follow along and enjoy.
That is absolutely amazing. So what are we cooking today?
We are making dumplings today, and here are the ingredients that we are going to use. Here it's about 250 grams of pork mince, but of course you can use turkey, you can use vegetarian options. So the meat or protein of your choice. And here we are using light soy, ground oil, Shaoxing rice wine, black pepper, salt, white pepper, chicken powder, one egg for 250 grams of the pork. So if you have more, so obviously double the ingredients. And here we have a tiny little bit of a ginger in the water because one member of the family doesn't like ginger, but you need that flavor. So we just have a tiny little bit of a one slice of ginger soaked in water. So we're just going to use some of the water. One spring onion. Here is, we call it bai cai or pak choy, depending on where you're from. But usually we use cabbage, but we couldn't find cabbage, so we're using this instead. So I just use 2 leaves, wash it, and finally chop that. So like that, we're going to mix that up. And finally, we need some water, and I will show you how. And of course, you need some dumpling sheets like that. Oh, and also you need a clean plate with a paper towel on top. Because we are not going to consume this today, so we are going to freeze them. So I'll put on here so that later on I can transfer to a container quite easily so it wouldn't stick to the plate. And now I will show you how we are going to make the dumpling. We need to mix the ingredients first. We need about one tablespoon of soy sauce. Probably a teaspoon of oil. With Shaoxing rice wine, the way we measure that is we use a cap. So just half cap, like so. It's to get rid of the bloodiness in the meat. If you don't consume alcohol, you don't have to use that. We don't consume alcohol either, but it will burn off when you cook. And we need pepper. Little bit salt, white pepper, about half of that of chicken powder, vegetable of your choice, spring onion, ginger water with a tiny little bit of ginger, one egg. We are not using that water, so we'll save that water for the time being, and we're just going to mix this really well. If you feel the meat is a bit dry, do add more oil or water of your choice, but I think we are going to be okay. If you see lumps like this, you want to avoid it, break it up. Can you smell the ingredients? And I'm happy with that. So we can go on making dumplings now. Let me just take a teaspoon out. So typically we use chopsticks to make those, but if you are not used to using chopsticks, you can use a tiny teaspoon. So you have not quite a full teaspoon, so sort of that much. And you place the mixture in the center like that. And use your finger, dip into that water, and you wet the rim, half the rim of the dumpling, so that when you fold that over, they can stick together. So you press, 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 like so. Like that. So that's the most basic looking dumpling. If you want to make it slightly fancier, dip a little bit more water. You fold like that, so that creates a fold. You do it again. And we just repeat the process. Let me just make another one. Use the spoon, teaspoon, takes a mixture, not quite full, but sort of half, in the center. You don't want it too much, otherwise you can't quite close it. Dip into the water, wet half of the rim of the dumpling sheet, fold it like that, press, press, press all the way through, so that you can see the dumpling mixture is perfectly in the middle. And you wet that outside a tiny little bit because you're going to create a fold. You can create as many or as little as you want. And make sure you just like press it like this so you can stand up. Like that. So we're just going to repeat the whole process.
You normally do it with chopsticks?
I normally do it with chopsticks. Do you want to show? Yeah, you just chopsticks. It's just much easier, but if you are not used to using chopsticks, it's fine to use whatever tool you're comfortable with. Press, press, press. Press is the most important thing, so that when you put them in the water, they don't leak out. So.
And then so you've only got a whole batch. What would you do to cook them?
So I will boil some water. Once the water is boiled, you place the dumpling into the boiling water, not from the cold water, and you will wait for the water to boil again. So 6 minutes, then add some cold water, then do that again. So we'll show you in a minute. Just showing you how we are going to make a traditional dipping. For traditional dipping, you need some sugar, not a lot, just a little bit, and some garlic, normally fresh, but today I'm just going to use the granule one. Light soy, chicken powder, some chili oil, and most importantly, the Chinese rice vinegar. That's a traditional recipe, but skip whatever you don't like. And you mix that up, like so. We're going to cook the dumpling, and we are going to just dip the dumpling in here. To cook it, add boiling water to a pan or pot. You wait for the pan to start boiling again. So now the water's boiling. I'm just going to demonstrate how we cook them. I'm going to cook 6 for now. And once that's in, it's boiling, we add 6 minutes to the timer. Then I'll show you what to do after 6 minutes. 6 minutes is up, and you need to grab ½ cup of cold water and add to the boiling pot. And you can see that calms the pot down and it lowers the temperature. And from then you add another 6 minutes, then you'll be done. That we don't use, we are just going to put them in the freezer like that for about 10 minutes before I transport them into bags. So now all the dumplings are floating on top, so that means they are done. Just take them out, drain the water well.
That is absolutely amazing.